Hi, and welcome back to the Wicked Thrifter resale channel. We're out at a few of our favorite Goodwill locations to see if we can find some items to buy and sell on eBay for a profit. The first section I'm checking out here is the vase and pottery section. They didn't have a ton in the way of vases or pottery at this location that I was interested in. I do check it out, however, these vases intrigued me a little bit. I looked them up. They actually weren't worth a ton. It's a shame this piece had a crack on the bottom and a repair. Here I'm just checking out the figurine section, candle section, I believe is what I'm in. Some of these locations are going through a remodel, so there's not a ton on the shelves at a couple of them. This little centerpiece candle votive holder or tea light holder looked nice. I looked up the comps on it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't worth me picking up. I picked these up for resale. I didn't notice the crack in one of them when I did grab them. If it hadn't had the crack, it probably would have sold or would sell for more. I listed them on the lower end. I've seen some comps and some other sales higher than that. This was just a little metal cat candle holder. Unfortunately, it was just a single. I looked around to try to find another one. They didn't have it. And this probably could have been something I left behind. At $3.99, there's not a ton of profit, probably about $8 to $12. This day was a lot of hit and misses. I put back a ton of things I probably should have grabbed. This little item, the comps are kind of all over the board. If you can be more specific as to like if it's signed and other details, it probably could sell for a little bit more. I put it in the cart initially and I ended up putting it back, and I wish I would have grabbed it. This was a nice vase, however there's a big chip in it. It was sunflowers, and I love sunflowers. I wish it hadn't been damaged. I probably would have kept it myself. These were hand painted. I think it said Portugal on the bottom. Some of these parasols, it's like a bamboo handmade piece, can sell for decent money. The comps were all over the board, so I chose to leave it behind, and there was some damage on it as well. Here we're at a different store, and I'm checking out their vase section. Their planters. This had a nice look to it, but it was a mass-produced piece, so I chose to leave that behind. And someone's playing a musical instrument back there. I apologize. They didn't have a ton in the way of glassware, but they did have this nice pottery piece. I'm struggling to figure out who the maker is. I feel like I should know this. There's a website called The Marks Project that if you have an idea of the initials or the marks, you can sometimes narrow it down and figure it out on there. That's something to take a look at. But pottery does well for me. It takes a while, but I end up picking that up and putting it in the cart. Now this could have been something, however, I've left that behind. It was nondescript. There wasn't a lot of detail to it, so I put it back on the shelf. This gave me handmade feels, and I think that was a maker's mark by the price tag. I initially put it back, or I did put it back because it didn't have a mark on it. And I grabbed this crystal horsehead figurine, which I probably should have put back. Some of their colored pieces, the colored glass, like the blue and other colors, can do fairly well. There was a decent sold comp for that horse head, so I did grab it. I feel like there's quite a few of those listed. This felt like a souvenir piece, so I left that behind. Here was a nice art pottery piece too. It's kind of got like a giraffe pattern on it, and it's signed. For whatever I was thinking, I put that back too. I should have grabbed it. I'm just kicking myself for all of the choices that I made that day. I don't know if I was just in a mood. But some of my pottery sits for a while, so I think that was kind of giving me, hesitation to pick that up. I scooped this up. It was only $1.99. It's a hand-painted bird. The comps are kind of low on it, but they generally sell decent, so I picked it up. That cat basket was cute, but there's a ton listed and very little sold, so I did not grab that. I do scoop this up. It is a hand-carved Sweden bird. I believe it's a pheasant, but it's handmade in Sweden. I initially grabbed this Scotty dog. I do take it with me, but I think it's going to be something that I'm going to lot up with something else. At $2.99, it probably should have been something I left behind. I thought it was brass initially in the lighting in the store, but now on the camera and at home I can see that it's just like aluminum. Now this is Coalport. Some of their bigger pieces can go for a decent amount of money. This was, I believe, $1.99 or $2.99, $1.99. And there was just a very little chip there. I end up putting it back. These don't sell fast for me. They sit a while. The larger, more intricate pieces, and I think it had a crack there too, sell fairly fast, so I put that back. This was a fun find. If you can get them in a pair, they sell fairly fast and for a decent amount of money. There was some oxidation on the top there. It was $19.99. I left the lampshade, and the finial didn't match the lamp, so I left that as well. I just took the base. I believe I can get anywhere from $60 to $74 for that. This was a bummer. Online searches came back as Costabota, I believe. It gave me Italian glass vibes. It was a Sommerso faceted vase. It had some stuff inside that I thought I could get out and clean it. But that bottom there, I don't know if you can see it. I was trying to give you a better angle. It looks like it had been ground, maybe repaired. I mean, not a terrible job, but I didn't want to do it. This hand-carved or handmade wood chest was beautiful, but I think they wanted $50 for it. And I just wasn't in the mood to pick up something bulky. I have a lot of big items in my store that sit for a while, and I'm running out of space, so I would like to not pick up as many big things, because when they sell, I kind of get grumpy and don't want to sell it or ship it. This was interesting. It was a repurposed sewing machine into like a tractor. Here at the store, I'm checking out the figurine section and the candle section. And here is another mistake I made coming up here just shortly. I believe the name is Sasha Brastoff. I'm probably not saying that correct. But I thought they did more like porcelain or hand-painted plates and figurines and stuff. But this was a resin piece. You can see down at the bottom it's actually signed. It's like a candle votive. It could be used as a vase as well. There is an insert that's supposed to go in it. And you can see here some of them can go for a decent amount of money. But I think that's because people didn't label it correctly. I'm kicking myself for not picking that up at least to look into it. This reminded me of like tiki vibes. Look definitely handmade, but they go for about $30 to $40, and at $20 that wasn't a ton of profit, and it probably would have sat for quite a while. This was super fun, and I think I feel this way a ton of the time when I'm out thrifting. I find tons of things, and would be perfect like if you put them in a booth. Now this would be perfect for like a hair salon. It could be for crafters. It could be for many things, and it probably is mass produced, but man, that size really hinders people on the shipping costs, so I chose to leave it behind. It kind of hurt a little bit because it was super fun. This heavy vase is carved of stone. I chose to leave that. That would have been a bear to ship. This aisle was pretty bare. Didn't have a ton of items in it. There's some bud vases, some clear glass items. Nothing that spoke to me as being crystal or high-end. A roof strip there at the top, and there was a blown glass dolphin on a burl wood, I believe, or driftwood. And this were in the next style. Some plates and platters. Looks like a pie plate there. And this was some stoneware pottery. Was well loved, so I ended up leaving that behind. See, my cart is empty here. Wah, wah. I scooped these up. I have a larger bowl in my store right now that I'm thinking about pairing this with. These could be small berry bowls or nuts or little snack bowls, and you have a master bowl with it. I picked these up even at $3.99. I still grabbed them. They're fun. I love that kind of pottery. And this I grabbed as well. It's signed. Sorry about the little tie there. Vintage. I felt like it was missing a lid, so I ended up putting that back. And this teapot was nice, but there were no matching glasses or cups to go with it. So I ended up leaving that behind. Single teapots, unless they're very ornate and decorative, tend to sit forever and don't sell. And this was a little oil lamp. It was missing the wick portion. I thought it was done really nicely, but I think they're pretty well mass produced. And I checked this out. It's a blown glass. It was hollow, so it was a lot lighter than I expected it to be. And it had a remnants of like a made in China sticker on the bottom, so I left that behind. This looked like homemade. It looked like they took a fish paperweight and then glued it between two pieces of glass, but maybe not. I loved this platter down at the bottom, but the size of that was a big hindrance, and I was not going to ship it. It probably would have broken many pieces. A nice hand-painted bowl there. I do grab this. I may keep this. I do have it listed in the store right now, but I think it might be something that I pull to keep for myself. Probably would sell between $8 to $12. Maybe a little more. I have to do some more research on who made that. I thought this was interesting. It's like flocked or painted, but it's like a fuzzy velvety feel. I took this with me. It was only $6.99. Some of these can go for a decent amount of money. This one wasn't listed, or there wasn't any similar comp, so I grabbed it. The maker was Daruda. Here we're at another store. Actually, nope, this is the same store, and we're checking out their front kind of curated area, and they didn't have anything. This lamp was nice, and I hesitated a bit because they do sell decent and probably about $100, but they wanted $50 for it, so I left that behind. This is yet again another store, so we're in their figurine section. I scooped this up super, super fast. I remember hearing something that if it's marked just China, not made in China, to grab it. It was in really good condition, and it sold almost instantly within minutes of listing it. That's when you know something was priced too low, in my opinion, if it sells. And I had multiple people email me right away asking about condition details, and I wish I would have listed it higher. I grabbed this. It reminds me of like a humidor. It has an opening in there, some place you can stash some stuff. I did grab this. This is a beautiful fused glass platter. They wanted $10.99 for it. It is signed. It is vintage, and it is large. So this will be amazing. Hopefully I can get it there in one piece. I've been having fairly good luck with that lately. I was worried about the plate hanger on there, but I was able to get it off with no problems. And here's your recap. I want to say thanks for taking the time to watch the video. So if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.